Good evening. I'm so sorry that I can't be there with you in person, but I am happy to walk through this presentation with those of you who are sitting in my classroom right now. And I want to just start off by saying thank you for sharing your student with us this year. Thank you for allowing us to work with them, to help them grow. Thank you for trusting us with their safety and their education, because I know that that is not taken lightly. So I don't take that lightly, and so I definitely appreciate getting to know your student this year. My name is Allie Walker. I will be the 6th grade science teacher on Chesapeake Bay. I will teach alongside Garrett Schneider for math, Brooke Mulvihill for language arts, AJ Schneider for social studies, and Jake Fresky for resource. And throughout this evening, I hope that you'll get a chance to meet all of these amazing individuals. The 6th grade schedule can be seen here. We have Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. It's our regular day. Then we have a Wednesday schedule, and that would be for late start. And then 2-hour delay would be special testing days, like statewide assessment type things, or weather. Okay, so a little bit about me. This is my 12th year in the district. I've been in the exact same room for all 12 years that I've been here. It's kind of my home away from home at this point. I am a Noblesville High School graduate. I attended Noblesville School's kindergarten through graduation. Then I went off to Butler, where I got my middle childhood, early adolescent science education degree, and then was offered a job back in my good old hometown of Noblesville. I am a self-proclaimed super science nerd. I'm passionate about science both inside and outside of the classroom, and I really hope that that can come across to my students. I've been married to my husband, Matt, for 11 years, and he is a police officer in Cicero. We have a newly 1-year-old daughter named Harper. It took us a very, very, very long time to finally be blessed with a child, and so I'm pretty obsessed with her. Things that are special to science. At the beginning of every chapter, I will be giving your child a vocabulary activity. This will be different for every chapter, but it's some sort of activity that allows them to work with their scientific vocabulary for that chapter, whether it's a word search, a crossword puzzle, writing just the good old traditional definitions, finding pictures, synonyms, antonyms, things like that, as a way just to use their vocabulary and become familiar with it. This is assigned at the very beginning of the chapter, the day we start it, and it's due the week that we then take the chapter test. They will also receive a study guide for their chapter the day that we begin the chapter, and it is also due the week that we take the test. The day we start the chapter, they will be told when the test will be. So they will know how long they have, exactly how many days they have to get this work done. It's kind of my hope that this will be a good way to help with scheduling, time management, knowing how much work they have to do and how long they have to do it. There will be a chapter test after every chapter, and this is on Canvas. They will always start with some free response questions, and then it will be followed with other types of questions such as multiple choice and matching. My course is 25% classwork and 75% assessments. On the topic of assessments, I do have a test correction process. After every test, students have a 2-week window in which to submit test corrections. And for every point or every question that they correct and reflect upon, they can earn that point back. This form is linked on the Canvas homepage, and I show my students this after every single test, just as a reminder. Obviously, I hope that a lot of them take advantage of this. It's definitely something that I encourage you to stress the importance of, this opportunity to correct test questions. And then finally, something that's special too, but I think my class is the only one in the building that does this. I really love to celebrate growth and celebrate learning. And in order to do that, I like to monitor our progress throughout a chapter, both individually and as a class. So I do these class learning checks. I will do it at the beginning of the chapter, before we ever even start it. the middle of the chapter, and then the end of the chapter after we have taken the chapter test. And what happens is I put a game board up, it looks like a Jeopardy board, and we will roll a 20-sided die, and we will do 5 random questions from that board. And all of the questions on the board are going to be questions that come from the specific chapter that we're working on. So if we're doing a chapter on the planets, those 20 questions for that learning check are going to come from that chapter about the planets. We'll do 5 questions at the beginning, 5 questions in the middle, and 5 questions at the end. And students are just to keep track of how many they get right each time. And then we graph that on a progress grid. This is kind of my way to not only celebrate success in learning, but also to work on graphing skills. So you can see here that on the very first learning check, this student got 1 of the 5 questions right. So their bar is 1 square, and then they change that to a 20% for their line graph, and they plot that point. And then in the middle of the chapter, they went from 1 to 4. They got 4 of the 5. And then that equates to 80% for their line graph. And then at the end of the chapter, this student got all 5 of the questions correct, 5 out of 5, which was 100%. Connecting those dots to make the line, she can now graphically see, both on the line and the bar graph, that she grew. We're all here for the same reason. We're all here to grow. We're all here to learn. And so why not be able to see it visually and celebrate it? I make it a little class competition between all 4 of my periods, and usually the class that either improves the most from beginning to end or maybe ends the highest, I kind of switch it up, will get some sort of prize for that chapter. So that's a fun little thing that I like to do. Sequencing in science, first semester, we will do methods of science, designing experiments, variables, hypothesis, observation, we'll do waves, sound and light. January we will kick off space. We will do that 3rd quarter, and then 4th quarter will be ecology. So your matter and energy in the environments, producer, consumer, decomposer, predator, prey, food chain, food webs, those types of things. My Canvas homepage, it's really self-explanatory. When you go to it, each day has its own link. You click on the date that you want, you'll find what that lesson was. I try really hard to make my Canvas pages user-friendly in such a way that you could walk yourself through my lesson even not being in my classroom. I think that that's helpful for parents who are helping from home as well as students who happen to be absent. You can find the handouts, you can find video links, you can really see what we did in class from bell to bell just by looking at that daily Canvas page. Hopefully you will get a handout from Mr. Schneider that has some helpful QR codes that will help you to connect yourself to kind of monitoring your students, whether that's observing them on Canvas or getting PowerSchool notifications. If you do not receive one of those handouts, please email me. I'd be more than happy to send one home with your student. And finally, here is my contact information. Absolutely open to email at any time. I really do think that student success kind of takes a village, and that homeschool connection is really important. So please feel free to email me at any time with any questions, comments, or concerns, and I look forward to getting to know you and your student this year. Thank you.